Good afternoon, dear students. It's a pleasure to be with you again in this seminar. We'll try our best to let you feel more relaxed about your final English exam. Today, at the beginning of this seminar, and in the first part of it, we're going to talk about literary exam paper of the 12th grade in our secondary schools and how to deal with the final exam paper. The format of the exam paper of English in this year is the same as the one in the previous year, as we mentioned before. There is no change at all. So to practice for your English exam, you can solve the samples of the previous year's exams as possible as you can. I think you all know that the Ministry of Education has already omitted the last two modules in both student and activity books for this year because of the circumstances that we are facing these days. So in this case, you have to study only from the beginning of the end of from the beginning to the end of page 87 in the student book, and from the beginning to the end of page 65 in the activity book, and from the beginning to the end of page 28 in the supplementary book, in addition to the first three stories at the end of the supplementary book, from page 38 till the end of page 51. In the second part of this seminar, we are going to talk about the exam of the 12th grade Sharia, secondary school. The format of English exam is a new one for this year. It will be applied for the first time in 2020. You have to study from the beginning of the student book to the end of page 76, and from the beginning of the activity to the end of page 43 book, in the activity book. As well as we are going to explain to you how to deal with the new exam paper. So be with us till the end of this seminar, and willingly we enjoy answering all your questions if you have any before. So before I begin, I want to introduce my colleagues in this who are going to participate in this seminar. Ms. Mayada Qubayli, a supervisor in Damascus, and Ms. Iman Asaudi, also in Damascus. She is a teacher in Damascus. So welcome, and let us begin our seminar with Ms. Mayada. Ms. Mayada, you know that our students are confused a little bit this year because of the circumstances that we are facing. So we are going to let them feel more relaxed.
It's,
yes.
First of all, let me say good morning, good afternoon to you and to our students, all of them, who are now waiting for us to discuss with them the exam sample. Second thing, I have to tell them that there is no fear to be afraid of this exam 2020 because it's as the same of the last year. There is no change except the things that you have just mentioned now about the pages. All right? All right. Is it okay now?
Yes.
Now, let's now introduce the question exam. Of course, we have two pages. We have two pages in the exam, or two sheets of paper for the literary section. Now, if you mind, follow me to start with the first part of the question. It is, as you can follow me here, we have a text from one of their textbooks, either students or the activity. Now, the first question, or the first text, or the first passage, they have some tasks they have to follow. First of all, read the following text, then do the tasks below. Of course, the texts is either from the students or the activity.
So
then they have long passage.
Yes. So the first text is from the student or activity.
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
Then, after they read the text, of course, and comprehend it and understand it in general, I'm sure they are going to understand it and remember this text. because their teacher once told them about, and they had done a lot of activities about it. Now the first question.
So how do you advise, or what do you advise our students to do during the exam? Is it to read it word for word and to understand it in a good way, or how should our student read this text?
Really, they must read it carefully. Read the passage.
Yes.
Of course, sentence by sentence, and to get the main idea. Of course, they can read it first quickly, scanning it for the first time, and then they can read it second time for details to answer the comprehension questions which are followed under the text.
Because you know, sometimes in the questions and in the completion or the wrong statements that they are going to, we use sometimes, or it is used, or some let us say similar words, similar meaning, and not the same words that are in the text. So if we look at the questions, we find that the words are similar to the words in the text in meaning. So they are not the same as the words, so they have to read the text carefully.
Yes, first of all, they can read it quickly for the first reading, then the second reading is for specific information and details. For that, after they read the lesson, the passage, they have the first task consists of 3 questions. Question number 1, question number 2, and question number 3. These 3 questions are WH question, and they are answered, of course, from the text, according to the text above. Each question is allotted 7 marks for the literary section.
Do we have any answers from outside the book?
No, of course.
Or outside the text?
At all.
So the answers are related to the text.
Yes,
they are from the text.
Sure. Okay. Now they have to pay attention to the WH question, and the answers, all of them are from the text, from the passage above them. Then after this task, they have another task. It is also related to the passage or to the text. Here they have to search for the meaning of the words in the text.
So they have 3 words, and they have to search for the meanings of these 3 words.
They have to search carefully. They have to read it and find the meaning of these words.
The exact meaning,
the exact meaning, the correct meaning. After of course, here if the student writes one answer, it is correct or incorrect. But if he writes 2 answers for the same meaning, we are going to correct just one, the first.
Yes, the first one.
The first one. Yes, consider the first.
So be careful to write only one answer.
Yes.
One answer, or otherwise we'll take only the first answer. The first answer.
The students must write only the correct answer. Now, if he writes 2 meanings or 2 definitions or 2 words for the same number, we are going to consider just the first one, whether it is correct or incorrect. We are not going to choose which one is correct.
Okay.
So pay attention to this.
Excuse me for the interruption, but sometimes the students write more than 1 word. And it's a definition, and we need only just 1 word.
Yes, thank you.
To choose from the text. And sometimes it's a long sentence. How could we deal with that?
Good.
Of course, we are not going to consider it.
So we want only the meaning of one vocab.
One vocab.
Yes, 1 word.
Okay.
Very fine. Now, the last task, which is related to the text, is to rewrite these sentences about the text to correct the information. Now here the students have 2 sentences, number 7 and number 8. Of course, the meanings here are not completed. They have, of course, wrong information related to the text. They have to read carefully the sentence and rewrite it correctly.
Yes, rewrite. We put a line under rewrite.
Many lines.
Please, rewrite the sentence. Don't write only the correction. Write the whole sentence.
A full answer.
Yeah, a full answer, yes.
Of course, if the student writes only the correction without rewriting, it's not accepted. He has to rewrite the correct information using, of course, related to the textbook, to the text above.
Okay.
This is about the first text. It is related to the student activity or to the student or to the activity textbooks.
Okay, so let us move to
The second message.
the second text.
Okay. It's of course now, it's also comprehension, the second one, and the students will be asked to do also 3 kinds of questions. This text is usually or basically from the supplementary, the literary supplementary.
Yes.
They have to answer the different kinds of questions. The first one, multiple choices, or let's say ABC. The second one, definition, and this time we have words in the text, they are underlined, and the student have to match the definition with their meanings below. Of course, now 2 words. And the last one, and this is important because it's a completion. From the text itself, they have to complete they are given 2 different sentences, but they are not complete. They have to complete them from the text itself. And usually, now I want to mention this point. Usually the student said, now the space for the answer to this question is very short, and it's not enough for us to write. Let's tell them that they have to pay attention that we don't need a long sentence or a long passage from them. Sometimes 2 or 3 words are enough.
Yes.
Only 1 short sentence, it's enough, and we are sure that the place is enough for them. This is,
yes.
I want to make sure that they understand this point.
Yes, you are right.
Okay, this is about
the same as the first text. We have the words are used, and the questions are not the same as the words used in the text. They are similar in meaning.
Because it's comprehension. Yes. They have to understand the paragraph or the text itself, and then they will be ready to answer the questions.
So, our dear students, you have to understand, because these 2 questions are comprehension questions. So you have to understand the meaning of both of the texts, and then you can answer. And I think the same, our questions for this year are the same as the previous years. So it's very easy for you if you practice the previous samples. Okay.
Okay, let's now move to...
Yes, let's move,
yes,
Ms. Mayada.
To the number 15, 16, and 17, and 18.
The second page of the
Yeah,
course.
the second page. Here we have some grammar sentences and some, it is of... I don't care, you can put this there.
Okay.
But,
okay.
We don't know why. The screen, yes?
Yeah.
Oh. Yes.
It's okay.
Very fine, thank you. Can I now hear?
Yes,
Here we have, this is either from the book or from the activity book or the student book. Here we can have either different sentences or a complete passage.
Missing words, yes.
Yes, here the student has to complete the following paragraph by filling in the gaps. Here, of course, there is no words above the text or the paragraph. He has to read it carefully because it is in the form of a paragraph or maybe in a separated sentences. So he has to read very carefully to get the meaning and to know what is the proper word to put it here. Here it is related to a functional word.
Functional,
yes.
yes.
Functional. That means that the student has to know that he is going to write here just 1 word. It is very necessary, and the meaning will not complete if it is not correct. See? So it is here we have 4 sentences for the literary section. What do we mean by functional word? May the student use a preposition or an adjective or an article or he may use one of conjunctions, like for example,
but or
relative pronouns.
Yes.
Okay. Relative pronouns. Okay.
Yes. So we have many functional words.
Yes, he has to pay attention to
yes,
this.
Verb to be, has, have, sometimes will, would, auxiliary.
Now about the remarks, please,
verbs.
if you have with you, I can. Of course, here the student must write just one functional word. If, of course, the same he writes two, we are going to choose only or we are going to correct only the first.
The first one.
So keep this in mind, please, my dear students, that you have to write only one functional word for each gap or for each space.
Yes.
Can I add something?
Yes,
of course.
Usually in English, the words in English are divided into two types or two kinds. Function and content. Content means any word. Drink, play, go,
yes,
jump, different words. Function means the sentence can't stand alone or gives full meaning without these function words. And of course, Mrs. Mayada said or told us the different kinds of.
Yes, so the grammatical structure of the sentence.
Grammatical structure, okay.
Yes.
For example, I can give you an example. For example, here, sentence number one. For example, let me see this example about functional word. Weather, for example, space, what happens to the air and the atmosphere outside. So what do you think here we have to put, for example, as a functional word? So weather, okay, is what happens. Weather is what happens. Is here is a functional word, and here it is related to the verb to be. So now, if the student writes was, is it correct?
Correct.
It is somehow it is correct because he knows that he's going to write about verb to be, and so he must, for example, grammar intense, but it is accepted anyway. But it is functional.
Can you repeat the sentence, please?
Yes, weather. It's a space, for example.
You should write
what happens to the air and the atmosphere outside.
Yes.
Here the functional here is related to
the tense.
The tense,
yes.
But he has to write just one word.
Yes.
So weather is what happens to the air and the atmosphere outside.
So
I give here them just an example to notice what do we mean by function.
Our dear colleagues and our students, dear students, will take a break for 2 minutes and then we'll come back to you.
Yes.
Welcome back, our dear students. We'll go back to our guests and they are going to explain the exam paper. Okay.
Now after speaking about the missing words, now we have content words. Means we have some sentences with the spaces, and of course now the words are written in a list, and of course now there's an extra word, and of course now this is for the sake of
the list has
6 words.
6 words,
while they have to fill in the spaces with 5 words
so
only.
We have
an extra word.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. And of course now this for the sake of the students themselves, it's something good for them.
Yes.
Not bad. Okay. I want here from the students also. Now, sometimes we have a text, or sometimes we have separated sentences with the spaces. They have to read them carefully, and they have to pay attention and be careful when they write from the paper, the exam paper, to the white sheet, to the answer paper. They have to pay attention when they write them down.
Is this
Some students write numbers. They write numbers above the words, and I don't know why. Maybe they find it take them a long time. Okay.
So
they put the numbers, so they rate 0.
They rate 0, yes.
Okay.
Please, our students, be careful not to write the numbers of the words and write the...
Yes, now you are asked to write only the word itself.
Only. You have to write the answer, and the answer is one word only.
Only.
Yes.
Okay. I think, yes, that this is, they find it easy. Sometimes from the supplementary, most of the time, from the supplementary.
Yes,
or
yes.
basically
so
from the
this
supplementary.
question is from the supplementary book.
Okay.
Okay.
Now we are going to move to the next question. It is a dialogue. They have to complete the dialogue. Of course, first of all, they have to read carefully the given dialogue. Okay, here we have a problem. Can you please show us on the screen? It doesn't work. Anyway.
Okay.
No, here we, from number 24 to number 27, they have to complete the following dialogue, of course, by writing suitable questions or answers. Of course, here we have to give one, it is already
Now, Ms. Mayada, the dialogue is from which books? From the...
They, of course, they are one of their activity or student
Yes,
books.
so they
Related
are
to the
either from the activity book or from the book, the student book.
Books, yes.
Okay.
Here they have one completed dialogue, whether to write the question or to answer the questions. But we have to remind them that they have to write at least 3 words to form a question.
So,
WH question or maybe, all right? Fine, thank you, Miss. Now, complete the following dialogue by writing suitable questions or answers. Write at least 3 words
yes, so
for each question.
it is written.
Yes, it is written, and the dialogue is either from the students or the activity book.
So at least 3 words for each question, at least.
Less than 3, of course, now it has no meaning.
Yes. So
the question has no meaning.
So what about the question word?
The question word, of course, here we have one completed dialogue. They have, first of all, read the given sentences. For example, I went to Mexico last year. All right? This, someone is asking me, but I respond that I went to Mexico last year. So here, as an opening question, what is the student going to think of immediately? He is going to ask his partner, for example, or he is going to write, when did you go to Mexico?
Yes.
When, WH question.
Yes.
Then the auxiliary verb, did. Then the subject. Then the completion of the sentence, when did you go?
So the tense the student must use is according to the answer given to him.
It is,
so it depends. Yes, it depends. Yes. So your question, our dear students, your questions should depend on the answer that is given to you. So you look at the answer and see the tense and see what is going or what are the main target of this answer, and then you ask your question according to this answer.
They have to pay attention to the meaning of the sentences and to the tense and when to use the auxiliary verb or which tense they have to use it. So it is related to the given sentences or to the given dialogue in front of them. So please don't worry, read it carefully, understand what is the dialogue about or the conversation about.
Yes,
what is the situation. In exam, we have so many questions to the same.
In other words, they have to focus on the answer, the answer given to them.
in the worksheet. Of course, they have number 24 is a question, number 25, and number 26, whereas 27 is an answer. For example, they may find in the dialogue, why did you arrive late? So the student must write on his paper sheet a suitable answer.
Logical, any logical
Any
answer is
logical
accepted.
Answer
Any
is
logical
accepted.
answer
Yes,
is
that's it.
acceptable.
Yes.
Yes, any logical question and any logical
Answer
answer
is accepted.
Now,
accepted.
just let me add one thing, that
Yes, of
each
course.
answer is allotted 10 marks. So don't worry if you did some mistakes. It is going. You are going to gain the others. For example, I did write a question word correct, but I did some mistakes in the auxiliary verb or in the tense. So don't worry. You are not going to have 0. You are going to gain some marks.
Yes.
Each question is treated separately from other questions, and each thing that, or each part of the sentence, the student writes, he will be graded.
So
Yes.
Of course,
So-
now he's not going to have 0 in the exam.
yes, we can, if you want to
fine.
show them the remarks,
All right.
you can show them the remarks of this
Number
dialogue.
28 and 20.
Yes, here you
Yes,
can.
you
have
can
them.
follow me, please.
Yes, she can put the remarks only.
20,
okay.
23.
Yes,
Yes. let me
24
see.
to 27.
All right. Well,
Okay.
I can't find them here. Now,
Okay, you can put them on the
screen.
screen.
Each.
Only the remarks, please.
Only the remarks, okay.
Only the
Yes.
remarks, yes, only the remarks.
Here we have the remarks.
Yes.
It is also off. Would you please, each question is allotted
Okay,
10
each
marks.
question is allotted 10 marks.
Yes, read it for
Okay. Deduct 3 marks for wrong question word or word cluster. Word cluster, they have to pay attention or
Like how many,
understand
how
what.
much?
Yes, okay. Why? One word. But how much? How long? How often? Okay, this is
Yes.
word cluster. If the students write a wrong question word with more than one grammar mistake, the answer rates 0. Deduct 2 marks for each grammar mistake, provided that the total deduction shouldn't exceed 6 marks.
Okay.
Can you see now
So,
if they have
yes.
more than one mistake, but still the question has sense? Of course, now
if
they
your
will have.
question has sense, so whatever you or how what are the mistakes? The grammatical mistakes are should not exceed more than 6 marks. Your grammatical mistakes.
Okay.
So
If the students write 2
you are in the
questions-
safe side.
Okay, sorry.
Our dear students. Yes.
Okay. If the student writes 2 questions for the same answer, we consider the first, as usual. Okay, means we don't choose the best, but we take the first. Okay?
Yes. Yes. We choose the
Okay,
first only.
Choose the first. If the student writes the correct question word only, his answers rate 3 marks, only for the question word.
Yes.
This is, of course, now
So it's
very generous.
Yes.
Okay. Any logical question or answer related to the dialogue is accepted.
yes.
Okay, these are the remarks for the.
Yes, thank
This
you,
set of
Ms.
questions.
Iman. Thank you,
Okay.
Ms. Iman. Thank you, Ms. Mayada. So any other...
I think that she read the
Okay.
very important
Sorry, because
remarks.
now it's far from you. Okay.
We have to encourage them that they have, for example, after 12 years studying English, they have to know how to deal with such an example, such an question.
Exam.
An exam.
Yes.
Okay.
They shouldn't leave it empty. They have to try. Don't be worried about them, because you can write, for example, the correct question word or question cluster, so you can gain some
Even if you
remarks.
have mistakes, of
Okay.
course, okay, you can take
Try to do
2
your
or
best.
3 or 4 marks at least.
Yes.
Try to do your best.
Yes.
Okay.
So you have the opportunity to succeed and gain marks, our students.
Be hopeful.
It's
Yes,
something
be-
not difficult. Okay.
Be optimistic.
And not impossible. Okay. Now we come to the
Next fast.
next question or rubric. Let's say complete. Now, sorry. Rewrite the following, and also yes, put 3 lines under these
Yes,
under
rewrite.
this word, okay. Rewrite the following sentences as required in brackets. You will have a task, and you will be given a task between the brackets, and you have to deal with the sentences according to these tasks. For example, you have to change the sentence using wish, passive voice, reported speech, different kinds of tasks, and your causative.
Yes. So
Now,
they
they have the
grammar.
sentence, it's a grammar, of
Grammar
course.
rules.
Grammar rules.
Yes.
Okay, and now each sentence is allotted 10 marks. This is something,
Yes.
yes, it's a high mark. They have to pay attention to this.
Yes.
Okay. Of course, now, sometimes we said use he said for the reported speech, as an example. The student has to write the full sentence. He said, and of course now continue the changes he did to the sentences he was given
when
exam
our
paper.
student sees he said, it means that we want the past tense.
Okay, and it's
Yes.
reported, of course.
Yes,
He has to do the changes,
Yes.
suitable changes in the sentence. For the passive, I want them I want to mention this thing. They have to write the full elements of the sentence. First, now they have to write the subject, which is the new object. Okay.
Can you explain on the screen, please, Ms.
Yes.
Iman?
Okay. I will give them
An example.
an
An
example.
example, yes.
Okay. Let's say.
Here one.
Okay.
People hunt kangaroos.
Okay.
Put the paper.
Okay. Okay. First, I will
I
write
don't
it. Okay. People.
Yes.
Yes.
Hunt
Hunt.
kangaroos. For
Let's
Birds,
say
birds,
Okay.
birds.
For their meat.
Okay. Their
Meat.
sorry. Meat. Okay. Here I have to pay attention to the elements of the sentence. People is the subject.
Yes.
Hunt is the verb.
Good.
Birds is the object. And of course, for their meat is the rest of the sentence. Okay. I have to start the sentence with the new,
Yes, the object.
the object, which
object.
is the new subject.
The,
okay.
the new subject.
Okay. Birds. Now, then the student has to pay attention or to look at the tense of the verb. Okay. Here we have something important, which is in passive I have to pay attention to two things: the verb to be and verb 3 of the sentence.
Yes, good.
Verb 3 of the sentence is, now the hunt is regular, so it's hunted.
Hunted.
This is verb 3. But what's the tense of hunt? It's simple present.
Simple present.
So, and I have to also look at the new subject, which is it
So
this,
verb to be,
singular or
verb
plural?
to be in the passive sentence carries the tense of
The
the
tense
sentence.
of the sentence. Okay.
Okay, so
Birds
we have,
is-
yes,
Okay.
the passive has two elements, the
Verb to
verb
be
to be and the verb, the
verb.
main verb. So verb to be carries the tense
of the
of
sentence.
the sentence.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, also now there should be an agreement between the subject and the
Yes,
verb.
of course.
Okay. Birds is plural, so I have to put or write
are.
are.
Good.
Okay. Are hunted for their meat.
Okay.
Now, sometimes
Pie.
the subject is important, so I may add pie people.
So if I have, yes, by people, is it necessary to put by people?
When it's a proper name or
Yes, if I have
important
a name, I have
Name.
John
Okay.
hunt. John hunt birds for their meat.
Okay.
So,
So it's important. I have
Yes,
to add
by-
the proper noun
yes.
at the end. Okay.
or John hunt birds for commercial purpose. So, yes, I say by John.
By
so
John.
it's necessary to
Simple.
say by
Okay.
John.
But when it's a subject, it's a pronoun or someone,
Yes, or in general, we are talking
Okay.
in general, so
it's not important.
it is not important to put by. Okay.
So now each step that the student writes down, he will be graded for this step. Sometimes the students write, but they don't continue, or maybe the new subject is not correct.
So I want full sentence.
Full sentence.
Full sentence, especially in this question.
Okay, and the most important element here is the new subject.
The new
Sometimes he writes is hunted. Of course, now his sentence is will not rate 0.
Yes, but
we will
it's-
deduct
yes.
some marks for the grammatical mistake.
Yes.
Okay. This is the, of course, now from the activity or from the student book also.
book, yes.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Now, Miss Mayada. Now,
Thank you, Miss. Let's
Okay,
now move
welcome.
to the next question exam, which is number 27 and 28. The question target is complete the following sentences using clauses. Fine. And the students are given one half of the clause, sentence with one clause, and he has to complete it. Of course, they are related to their grammar structures, and they are related to their functional words. So, what do we mean by a clause? A clause means that a student has to complete his second half of the sentence with subject and a verb. Of course, he has to read the first sentence, the clause, carefully to understand the meaning and the tense, and then he is going to write complete clause, starting with subject and verb. For example, people write...
so the main
Elements.
aspect or the main thing in this sentence is
subject
Subject and
and the
verb.
the
verb.
subject and the verb.
Of course,
So
we-
no clauses without
Yes, not like
subject.
Arabic.
Yes.
Sometimes in Arabic we have
Yes,
something called
yes.
جملة
And in
اسمية.
English we have, but here
Okay.
we want the clause as a
Okay, yes, we have, they
Okay.
have continued the sentence with, to complete the sentence
Yes.
with a clause, subject and verb. Subject and verb and meaningful, of
Of course, they
Yes,
have to pay
meaningful.
attention to first to read it the sentence carefully first and understands what is the target here and the meaning, and then complete it, of course, regarding to the grammar and to the meaning. Of course, if he doesn't write a subject or a verb, so it is not a clause.
Okay.
Fine. They have to keep this in mind. Please, dear children, when you are going to write to do this exercise, this text, sorry, or this question, you have to start with a verb. For example,
Subject and verb.
yes, subject and verb. For example, people write things. Would you please? People write things in their diaries.
Okay.
I'll give you an example. If you, it's better.
People write
Things in their diaries. So
okay.
this is an example. How can
Okay,
a
how can-
student, of course, complete this sentence? Of course, he has to read it carefully and think of the tense. The tense here is simple present. People write things in their diaries so that they can
So,
they can remember them forever.
okay, or after that.
They can remember them forever, not to forget their
Okay,
things.
remember them.
Miss Iman, can you? Yes, because okay, yes. So people write
things
in their
in their
diaries.
diaries.
Now,
So
so
that-
that as a result
Oh.
of this, why do people write their things in their diaries?
Okay.
So that they can
So I
Remember
look at
them.
the verb, the tense of the
Yes.
verb. The tense of the verb is
Simple
Present.
present.
present,
Okay.
simple present.
And here he continues also using
So I
Present.
started
Auxiliary
the
in the
sentence with
present.
subject related to people, and it is convenient to use they, all right? And use it the present tense. They can remember their diaries or them. So here he has another example. Sorry, here we have another example. For example, my mother is tired.
Can we have it in the past tense?
Yes, yes. My mother
was
tired. Because here we have spaces or gaps. Now, the student is going to read this sentence and he has to complete it, keeping in mind that this tense is in the
past.
In the past.
And he is going here to use the past, one of the past types, simple past or past activity, past perfect. And he has to continue, of course, complete the meaning. The second, his sentence must become correct according to the first half of
he has to use
the past symbol.
a subject,
subject,
because,
verb, and the rest of the sentence.
Yes.
Let's now think of an answer of it, because
Okay,
she had
because she had
tidied the house,
the whole house.
the whole house.
Okay.
My mom
Okay.
was tired because she had
Okay.
tidied, prepared for the
so
lunch.
we use the past tense,
Yes.
and we should
Com-
or we must use the subject, which is she here.
Frankly
Here in this sentence,
speaking, we have to pay attention here to the writing or the completion of the sentence must start with subject and verb.
Good.
And it should have a meaning.
Yes, of course, meaningful.
Okay.
Now the next.
Okay, the next set of questions. Now choose the correct words in brackets. Now we have here also
Yes.
choices, and the students have to choose between them. Sometimes the students write the full sentences as they are in the
Choices.
exam paper, and they don't choose anything. Of course, now we are not going to choose for them. You
Yes.
have to circle one of the words you choose, or
To
maybe
write.
tick it, or it's easier now, just the number, and you write the answer next to it.
The right answer.
The right
yes.
answer.
So,
Okay.
so if you want to write both of the words, you have to circle one of them.
Circle one of them.
And it's better for you, dear students, to write the word only, the right answer, or the word, the answer, which you choose.
Okay, and they have to write sometimes we have phrasal verbs. Come up with, or come up
Yes, full.
on, for example. They
Full.
have to write it full.
Full, yes.
Yes, because now
Full answer.
some
Full answer.
words are the
Yes.
same, but the last part is different, so they have to write the full word.
Okay. Can you give us an example, please?
Okay,
with,
now
these phrasal verbs.
Uh,
Only the phrasal verb.
the phrasal verb.
Uh,
Okay, I will
if-
see if we have here an example, or let me
come
think
up
about
with.
it. Come up with, or
Come across.
come across. It's okay.
Okay. Can we write them?
Sami. Let's say get. Get.
I mean, when he writes the
okay.
answer, it is not necessary to.
Yes.
Yeah.
The answer, it's only okay. 34 now. The number is 34. He has to write come.
Write, Miss Iman,
Yes,
please.
sorry.
Yes.
Come up with. Okay? Forget about this one. 34. Come up with. He has to write it full. Not only come
Full.
up or come
Yes.
alone.
Yes. Or if the student writes come up only, so it is
Zero.
not acceptable.
Okay.
And if he writes come with, also it is not acceptable.
He has to
write it
Full,
as
full
a full
answer.
phrase.
Okay.
Okay, now any other comments?
No,
I think she did all the remarks
Okay.
well for them. Now let's move to number 35. Would you please just show them?
Okay.
Number 35 to 38. Here we have a set of sentences related, of course, to their books.
Correct the verb now.
Yes, here the rubric is correct the verbs in brackets. And they are given 4 sentences. The student has to read the sentence carefully and guess which tense is he going to use or to complete
Okay.
or to correct.
Okay.
For example, the polar ice must be melting, for example, because the world is getting warmer. Now, here we have a sentence. Can you write them for me, please? The polar, yeah, ice.
The polar ice
must be melting because the word between brackets get warmer.
Warmer. Okay.
Yes. So this is a fact,
Okay.
scientific fact.
So and here now it's verb 0.
Yeah.
And the students have to put it in the correct
Yeah.
form.
So he is going to write, instead of get, number 36, gets, because the word is getting warmer.
Is getting.
Yes, is getting warmer nowadays.
Okay.
This is one example of them.
Okay. And also now they have to write full answer.
Of course.
Is getting, not only getting. Some students write getting and they think that their answer is correct.
So
we don't have something getting alone in the
Yes.
sentence. Only as a gerund at the beginning of the sentence, as a subject, or at the end of the sentence.
Yes, yes. So a full answer.
Full
answer.
Of course, each item is allotted 7 marks for this question. And only, of course, we are going to choose just the first answer. If he writes 2 answers, we are going to choose just the first
The
answer.
first.
The first.
The
2
first.
answers for the same number, of course, we are going to choose the first answer. This is for my questions here from 35 to 38.
Okay.
Now we come to the translation. Yes? Now we have 2 sentences, one from English to Arabic and the other one is from Arabic to English. Now, basically or generally, the one from the English to Arabic, this is from the supplementary.
Yes,
Okay.
in general.
In general,
Yes.
yes, because now they think it's more difficult. Now we are with our students, we don't want them to worry.
Yes.
Okay,
Want
so
them
it's
to
from
calm
the
down.
supplementary.
Yes.
And the thing that they have to pay attention to it is that the sentence is divided into sometimes 2 or 3 parts. And each part is graded separately. And now, don't worry, if you write just one part is correct, you will have its mark. So, in general, they have to read the sentence, try to understand it, and of course now it's something from their book, nothing from outside the book. And they have to pay attention to the tense of the sentence.
Yes, the tense of the sentence, and of course the sentence is divided into 2 or 3 parts, and each part
is treated
separately.
Okay.
And we have translation word
for word, it's wrong, of course.
It's wrong, okay. So
yes, means I don't write people, nas, go, يذهبون, this is wrong. We have to make it logical translation.
Yes, yes.
Okay, give the meaning in general. We don't want word for word translation.
Yes, good.
Okay. And yes, this is about the translation. Here we have some remarks in the grading scale. Each item is allotted, of course, 10 marks. The sentence is divided into 2 or 3 units. Each unit is treated separately, as we say. And for each grammar, we deduct just 1 mark for missing word or for missing wrong translation, grammar mistake. It's okay. These are the remarks of the
So now we come to the most important
it's the final
question, the final one, which is the composition. Okay. And I think most of our students in general, they suffer from the composition and they learn compositions by heart. So we advise not to learn the composition by heart. You can do it. You can do it, really, believe me. You can do it, and you can write a good composition, a good, well-organized composition in the exam. So you have to only follow some steps in writing your composition. You have to put an introduction, and then you have to put the body of the composition, and then the conclusion. And of course, it is not as in Arabic, as you do in Arabic, but it's very, very simple. And use the simple words, please. Use very simple words and connect your sentences, join them in a good way. And I think you'll write a good composition. Don't you agree?
Okay, of course.
Yes,
we
okay.
agree.
So
now the last question rubric is to write composition of no
we'll
less.
take a call, please.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Before I finish.
Yes. Hello. Hello. Hello.
Hello, peace be upon you.
Hello. Peace be upon you.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Yes, of course.
I will ask you about how we can choose the correct verb between simple present or present continuous.
How we can choose
The correct verb.
between simple present and present continuous.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Any other question?
No, thanks.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Another question. All right.
How can we choose the simple
She
She
present
doesn't
between?
tell us what is her name to tell her or to communicate with her.
Okay, she
It
said
is,
peace be upon you.
Yes, okay, and peace upon
And
her.
yes, peace be upon
On
the
us
whole
all.
country.
All right.
Yes.
Now, it is very important to read the sentence and try to find if there is any hint that will help her to tell her which tense is it. For example, we usually use the present symbol with some adverbs of frequency, like sometimes, like every day, like usually. Or if she reads the sentence and finds that it is just a fact, for example, she immediately can guess that this is the simple present
Can
tense.
we give Miss Iman?
All
Can you give
right.
us
Now, yes.
an example, please?
Of course, let
About,
me here
some-
choose.
Okay.
Yes.
People,
Yes.
between
Choose
brackets.
another word because we use people two times.
Okay, Rami,
Okay,
Rami, between brackets, wear his jacket in winter. Or blue jacket.
A jacket.
Or, yes, coat.
A jacket or a coat.
Or when
it's
it's
okay.
cold.
A coat.
Yes, a coat.
It's okay.
All right, so here she has to know that this is the simple present because it's a general fact about Rami. Rami
Okay.
wears.
Or a habit for Rami.
Okay.
Yes.
Rami
Usually wears.
Usually wears,
adding
yes.
S.
And dear, you'll have an indicator in the sentence, which can
Some hints.
you can follow the indicator and you can answer or choose the correct tense. Okay.
The same example. Now, Rami wear, between brackets, his new coat now
Now or today
or today
Yes.
or at the moment. At the moment,
Yes,
okay? At the moment. Now the adverb here, at the moment,
Of course.
all right, tells that this is the present.
The present
continuous.
continuous.
So
Rami is
wearing his new coat at the moment.
So,
moment.
dear student,
This
you
is-
can follow the indicator in the sentence, and you can have your answer or choose your tense according to the indicator in the sentence. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Let us
Go back
Go
now
back.
to our
Yes, okay.
the last rubric. It is to write a composition of no less than 80 words on the following topic. So they have to know that this topic is not from Mars or out space. It is one of their given topics or titles from activity or student's book, as they can see on the screen. Now,
So I want to tell them something,
Yes.
that any topic underwriting,
yes, please. Would you
underwriting here. So it is a composition.
Composition.
So we don't have any composition from outside the book. all our compositions are from inside the books, both books, activity and student. So don't worry, underwriting, any writing,
anything.
Yes, and we have another page or other pages that have contained. Yes, it's an example, and you can move and see any
similar one.
Similar one.
Very fine.
Yes.
Even the activity you have, for example, here writing. Would you please?
And the
just
activity,
an example.
yes,
Here.
an example.
Okay, just
So
an example, of course.
it is writing also.
Yes, here also writing.
Writing.
This is,
So these are the compositions that we have in our books.
Let me remind them of the remarks
Yes.
of how to write a composition. Of course, our composition for literary section is allotted 66 marks. And before, of course, we ask our teachers to grade the composition. We ask them to read the students' composition carefully and try to understand it.
We read it twice.
Yes, for the first time, and then to reread it again, because to know the language the student is using and what does he mean by this, of course, sentences. Now, of course, he is supposed to write 80 words. The more he writes, I mean, the more the student writes, the more grammar mistakes or maybe spelling mistakes he is going to.
So, as we said, choose simple words, choose simple sentences, and avoid complex sentences. So you're in the safe side. Then. Okay. So if the student writes only about
yes, less than, you mean?
Yes.
Now, on average, a paragraph between 70 to 80 words rates 66 marks.
Means full mark.
That means if he writes only 70 words, it's okay. As if he wrote 80 words,
yes.
it's okay.
Yes.
So he is going to gain or to get 66
full mark.
marks. Full mark. Now, a paragraph between 60 to 69 words rates 60 marks. That is, each, of course, field is allotted 12
So, yes, what we want to tell them that
here
if you write less than 80 words, so when you write, suppose 6-7 sentences, you lose some marks, okay? So you have to write 80 to 70 words. If less than that, you begin to lose marks, okay? And if you are far from the task response, or from the content, yes,
that
the task of the
30,
yes,
13 marks,
13 marks, of course, yes, for the task response.
Yes,
and the other, of course, it should be 12.
12, yes.
And
so, can you explain, Ms. Iman, about the task response?
Okay, task response means for example, the student is asked to write about any topic in his book. Let's say, for example, water shortage. Now, if he writes about water shortage, it's okay. His task means he understands what's the task we asked him to write about.
He hit to the point.
Okay,
yes.
And he writes about it. Of course, regardless the mistakes he has.
Yes.
In general. Now, sometimes I ask him to write about a city he visited, or a place he visited, or any event he had in his life. He wrote about the water shortage. Now, this is 0 for the task response, because he didn't understand or get what we want him to do. Okay, so for the task response, he has to get 13 marks out of 66. This is the things how we grade his paper. Content, 12. For the vocab, did he use the vocabs he needed in this topic? Means not only writes 2 words only and the whole topic is about these 2 words. No, he has to read at least 7 or 6 or 7, 8 vocab suitable for his topic.
Yes.
Then grammar mistakes 12 and spelling and punctuation also 12. Now the total is 66 marks.
Okay. So the most important factor in these categories are
classification
what is the most important, the task response. يعني النص، يعني لازم الطالب شو يكون
عرفان عن شو عم يكتب؟
عن شو عم يكتب، يعني ما يخرج عن نص الموضوع. إذا خرج عن نص الموضوع
صار معناته off point.
Off.
Right, like this.
Yes.
Off point.
So
his composition rate zero.
His composition will not be correct.
Accepted.
Okay, or accepted. Okay. So I hope that you get the idea or get the important idea of how to write or deal with your exam as a literary section. Okay. Now, I want only to remind you that you have to study this year only, for this year, 220, in the student book till page 87. Can you put it, please, 87? And in the activity book till 65.
Yes, this is till here.
Yes, till here only. Yes. This is what is required.
You mean till the end of unit number 10?
Yes.
Till
yes.
the end number
so
10 in
we have only
activities.
Yes.
And here in the student book.
Yes.
This is the last page.
The last page.
The
65.
Okay. So as we said or mentioned before, the two modules are omitted. The last two modules, module 11 and 12, are not required this year for the examination.
For the supplementary,
and the supplementary, yes. The supplementary is till, I think, page supplementary 28.
28. Here, okay. This is the last page.
Yes, this is the last page. 28.
The end of page 28.
28.
And yes, and stories.
And the stories only
from 38, page 38 till 51.
38 to 50.
To 51.
51. Okay. For the story till this page. 51. Okay.
So make sure that you study well for these pages. They are lucky, maybe.
Yes.
We hope so.
Yes.
They have to prepare well for the exam. They have to concentrate on their composition carefully. Start with capital letter and don't forget punctuation. Punctuation.
Yes, at the end of the sentence.
At the end of each
short
sentence.
sentences.
Now we'll move, if you don't mind, to Sharai.
It's okay. Yes, we are ready.
Sharai. So we have to move now.
Yes.
Dear student in
Sharai school.
In grade 12 Sharai school. So
okay.
we have a new format. A new format for you this year. So please, the first page. This is, I think, the last
yes, okay,
page.
Sorry.
Yes, this is the last page.
Yes, okay, sorry.
Yes, the first page.
Yes, this is the first one.
Yes, this is the first page for your exam paper. Okay. Now the exam paper is new for this year. So you have here two texts. In the first paper, you have two texts. Hi, Ili.
Yes, thank you, thank you. This is for me.
Yes,
it's okay. Would you like?
Start, Mrs. Samia.
All right. Would you present them?
Okay.
All right. Now they have, as they were accustomed to the 9th grade, somehow it's similar, and to our baccalaureate literary and their colleagues in the, of course, scientific sections, they have the same, the two sheets of paper.
And of course, we'll have
let us take a call and then continue.
Yeah, call.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Hello.
مرحبا أنا كنان ازاي؟
Okay.
Hi, Kina.
معلش أسأل سؤال بس بالعربي معلش.
Yes, you can use Arabic. Okay.
بس بدي إياكم تعيدوا تبع السؤال الكلوزر.
Closes. يلا رح نعيده هلا، معلش بس تعطينا دقيقتين نشرح في الشرع وبعدين رح نعد لك اياه.
ماشي طيب.
في شيء سؤال ثاني؟
لا يسلمك.
اوكي. Welcome Kina. Okay.
So let's start with the Shari exam this year. They are going to start, of course, they have the first page we have there a text from their textbook, either the activity or the student's book. The first rubric, read the following text, then do the tasks below, and of course they have, after underline under the text, they have certain tasks or questions. They have to answer them.
They have to choose.
Yes.
They don't have to write anything. So they have
It's
to
easier
choose.
for them.
Yes, it's
They have
easier for
the
you.
answer
You
ready.
have to choose.
They have 4 sentences or 4 questions with 3 choices for each one. Now they have multiple choices in every number. Number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4, as they can see on the screen. They have to choose either A, B, or C. Of course, to save time, they can only, for example, if the answer is for number 1 is number C, I write only number C.
Yes.
Now, if the student...
So the student can write the letter C, or can write the answer.
The answer.
Or both.
Yes, or
It's
both.
up to him.
Yes,
or
very
her.
fine.
Okay.
Now, this is for the first questions. Now, the second section, he has to choose the meaning from the text above, the given text. He has to choose the meaning or the definitions of the following words. Of course, here also they have to choose from A, B, and C. They
Okay,
have
we'll take a call.
Yeah, another call.
Hello.
يعطيك العافية عمتي.
أهلين، الله يعافيك.
عمتي بس ما بعرف أحكي إنجليزي بالعربي.
يلا ما مشكلة، أهلا وسهلا فيك.
عمتي هلا بدي أسألك عمتي بالنسبة للمواضيع.
مواضيع.
عمتي بنحفظهم كلهم ولا في شيء محدد مواضيع؟
هلا إذا ما بعرف إذا لاحظت نحن أشرنا لكم إنه بالمواضيع كل شيء تحت الرايتنج عندك بكل كتاب بنهاية كل درس.
نعم.
في عندي رايتنج، كل شيء مكتوب تحت الرايتنج هو موضوع. هاي المواضيع اللي موجودة بالكتاب، إن كان بالكتاب الطالب أو بكتاب الأنشطة.
إنه القصد إنه ما في شيء محدد يعني نركز عليه كله.
لا والله كلهم
نركز على كل شيء.
بس ليك الوحدتين الأخرانيات محذوفين.
مع يعني قواعدهم وكل شيء؟
إيه يعني 11 و12 ما مطلوب منكم تحفظوهم، محفوظ بس يعني مطلوب بس لعند العشرة مو غلطان.
ثاني بعد.
تفضل.
عمتي هلا القواعد هن بيتألف من الكلام المنقول والمبني للمجهول والوش التمني والافعال السببيه والاوردر تو والبيكوز، بس هدول ما هيك؟
ايه
ما في شيء غير هدول؟
لا هلا هاي الجمل اللي بتجي اللي قصدت انت انه شو ارقامهم هن 43
يس
هن هاي القواعد، هاي القواعد المطلوبه. ايه
يعني ما في شيء زياده اكثر من هيك؟
لا ما في شيء من برات الكتاب اكيد.
ماشي يعطيك العافيه.
اهلين الله يعافيك. شو اسمك؟ عمار جعفر. اهلين يا جعفر. اللي قبله سألت نفس المشروع.
سألت عن الكلوزز.
الكلوزز.
How to write closes in Arabic.
Closes completion يعني.
Yes. Let's go back to Sharai now, the rubric.
Yes.
The second section, he has to choose the meaning or the definition, and also they have multiple choices for each number. Number 5, number 6, and number 7, as they can see on the screen, A, B, and C. So if number 6 answer is number B, I write number B. That's it, or the word.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Mayada.
Yes.
Let's move quickly to finish.
Also now we have another text, but now it's shorter this time.
Yes.
And also they have 2 kinds of questions. Read the following text, then do the task, which is they have to decide whether the following statements are true or false. Only they have to write true or false next to the sentence. And answer the following questions. They have questions and they have 2 questions and they have to answer them.
Good.
Okay?
Okay.
First,
they have to answer them full answers.
Full answer, yes. For the questions, full answer.
Okay.
يعني طلاب الشرعي بظن يعني إذا شوي هيك أعطيناهم بعض يعني أكثر ركزنا شوي.
ملاحظات.
إيه معلش
طيب. يعني المفروض إنه يكون جوابهم.
معلش.
أوكي. هلا بس بشكل عام طبعا عندك الموجود السؤال، بس بدك تحط الإجابة next to it. يعني مثلا حطيت number 1 A B أو C، حط A يعني بتحب مثلا الحرف او بتحبوا معه الكلمه، اتس اوكي. الاجابات تكون عندكم ب 11 و12 تكون كامله، يعني ما احط انا بس كلمه واحده الجواب يكون عندي.
اوكي
بس بدي انتبه للزمن تبع الجمله. سالوني بالحاضر بجاوب بالحاضر، سالوني بالماضي بجاوب بالماضي.
بعدين
يعني مو شغله انه صعبه، يعني ما انه تاكلوا هم انتم، لانه كثير الشرع اكلين هم.
والفورمات النموذج الجديد يعني ما بيخليكم تكتبوا شيء، يعني نحن حاولنا نريحكم قدر الامكان انه انتم بس تختاروا الاجابه الصحيحه وبتحطوها، اما بتحطوا الحرف او بتحطوا الاجابه او بتحطوا الاثنين، معلش ما مشكله، المهم تكون الاجابه صحيحه.
تمام.
اوكي.
Okay.
Now let's move to
the second sheet.
It's use of English.
Use of English. This is a grammar, structure, vocabulary, tenses, conjunctions, phrasal verbs, derivations, and so on. Also, we have multiple choices A, B, or C from 13 to 20. كمان ما بدي اكتب شيء الطالب، يعني قدامك بس بحط الإجابة اللي موجودة وفقا للجملة اللي قدامك. بقرا الجملة كاملة، بستوعب شو بدها وبعدين بحط الإجابة. Okay. Fill in the spaces with suitable words from the list. Now here we have
four spaces
with 5 words.
With 5
There's
words.
an extra one. طبعا يعني في كلمة إضافية.
Okay. ممكن يكونوا جمل متفرقة.
ممكن متفرقة وممكن نص كامل متكامل. Ask questions about the underlined words. طبعا هون اسهل من الادبي بكثير. حتشوفوا انتم يعني مدللين شوي السنه. محطوط انه
كلمات. Can we give them an example please?
Okay. I will write.
They have separated sentences here. They have to pay attention to the task.
Here I have it.
From their textbook.
Okay, any question?
هاي لك معي.
All right.
Yes, Miss Lena. Dictate me.
We have here. Where is it?
Do they have the same like? It's fine. Okay.
Okay.
Any
Right.
question?
Any
question?
question? Yes.
The visitors enjoyed.
The visitors.
Yes, enjoyed.
Just a minute. It doesn't want to write.
This one. The visitors enjoyed.
The visitors
enjoyed their visit.
Their
visit.
Okay.
Last summer.
A line under last summer.
Okay.
يلا. في اتصال.
This is an example.
Yes. Hello.
الو.
أهلا.
مرحبا.
أهلا وسهلا.
مبسوطين انتم عم جاوبكم بالعربي ما؟
بس بدي لو سمحتي بس بدي اسال سؤال.
Yes of course. تفضلي.
بس شفت بالنموذج انه النصوص مو انه النصوص مو من الملحق.
أي نصوص؟
أي نصوص قصدك؟
انه داخلي النصوص من الملحق.
طبعا طبعا عندك النص الثاني اجباري من الملحق. ما ادبي انت؟ انت ادبي حبيبتي؟
What's your name؟ شو اسمك حبيبتي؟ عم يكون في صدى.
لا علمي. علمي انا علمي.
حتى
علمي او ادبي حبيبتي؟
علمي او ادبي، ايه الملحق العلمي مطلوب والادبي مطلوب، وحددنا الصفحات للادبي. هلا نحن في لكم ندوه ثانيه للعلمي بالاسبوع القادم ان شاء الله.
مطلوب الملحق.
ايه طبعا مطلوب الملحق، اكيد مطلوب ملحق العلمي والادبي.
النص الثاني قولا واحدا من الملحق.
ايه. لانه النص الثاني
طيب شكرا.
اهلا وسهلا فيك. Okay. Let's continue.
The visitors enjoyed the visit last summer. Now last summer طبعا هي شيء بيدلني على زمن، معناته انا بدي احط when. وانتبه للزمن تبع الجمله اللي عندي. Enjoyed, this is simple past. So when did the visitors enjoy نردد هي أخذت الزمن عندي their visit.
فإذا وين هي
ال question word اللي بتدلني على last summer.
Because last summer.
Okay.
Last summer, so we have to ask when.
Okay. If I want to ask about their visit, what did the visitors enjoy last summer?
Yes, good.
Okay, depends on the word that it's written.
Okay.
طبعا يعني هون انه حددنا لكم الكلمه اللي انتم كنتوا تكتبوا عنها ما تركنا مفتوح ال.
Now here we are going to stop a little bit, but not because
for a long time.
Yes, for the time.
Okay.
Now here they
We
have also as the literary.
Yeah.
A task and they have to
Rewrite the
literary
following
exam.
sentences
Yes.
as required in brackets. Of course, they have 4 sentences from 28. Would you please put it on the screen?
sorry.
28 to 31. They have
But,
1 sentence and they have to do
Miss
as
Iman,
it is
can you
required.
put this to them
As an example, yes.
An example.
Do they
It's
have the same
as
wish and
the same
Okay, as in the literary.
in the literary.
Yes, section. Or the scientific. The
Yes,
same.
the same.
Yes,
They
the
have
same.
wish
Literary or the
function
have
or
it.
passive voice or reported speech.
Yes, wish. Yes, passive voice.
Causative verbs.
Reported and causative.
Relative
Yes.
clauses.
So you, what is required is between brackets.
They have a
So they
sentence
have
and
to
the task.
change a
A
sentence.
sentence according to the task they.
Can we give them
they are
one
asked to
example
do.
from the paper?
For example, I wish. Yes, I am not old enough to travel alone. This is number 28. Use I wish. I start my sentence using I wish. يعني بلش أنا جملتي بكتب I wish I wasn't or weren't old enough to travel alone.
Okay. Yes.
I was sorry. I was sorry. Now I am not old enough. I wish I was or were old enough to travel alone.
Yes.
I wish I were.
Yes, here we have negative. In the sentence I have
I
to.
wish I were old enough.
Yes.
Okay.
No negative in the answer.
Okay. Okay. Now, as for the
last sheet,
the last sheet.
The last
paper.
sheet, okay.
they have writing here,
Yes.
but they have 2 tasks.
Now
of
here we
reading.
have to stop also
Yes.
for the ayah.
Yes.
yeah.
Now here.
The rubric, would you please read the rubric? Fill in the spaces. Yeah. Ma doesn't. Sorry.
Fill in the spaces. Sorry. Fill in the spaces with the correct words in the following ayah or hadith from students or activity book.
Okay. Now here we have some ayahs at the beginning of the book.
Yes. Now here, now we collect them.
Yes,
collect them
yes,
for
I
them,
know, yes.
Miss Lena.
Yes.
Here we
So you
have-
can choose one and tell them
Yes.
how
Okay.
can we deal with this one.
Okay. Now let's start with the first one. Let's say, verily, those who recite the book of Allah and perform the prayer and spend out of what we have provided them, secretly and openly, they hope for a trade gain that will never perish. Of course, now here they have to write it from their memory. يعني لازم انتم تحفظوا هدول الايات والاحاديث وتقدروا تجاوبوا عليهم بالامتحان.
بالضبط.
مثل الميسنج ووردز اللي عنا بس هون مو فانكشنال فقط، حيكونوا كونتنت مثل ما قلنا
بالضبط.
ويكونوا فانكشنال، يعني اي كلمه انتم مستعدين لازم تكونوا مستعدين تكتبوها. احيانا بنقدر نحن نكتب كلمه بنفس المعنى تكون تماما بنقبلها، يعني مثلا اذا عندي هون
لأنه ترجمة.
لانه هون ترجمه. هلا القران طبعا ما بنقدر نحن نحاور فيه لا بالحديث ولا بالايات، بس انا عندي هون مثلا verily those who recite، اذا كتب لي بدال recite read تماما نفس المعنى مقبولين التنتين. بس مثلا يحط لي بدال ذا بوك اوف الله يحط لي مثلا غير كلمه ما اكيد مو مقبوله.
اي طبعا يعني بده يكون. بعدين هون الفراغات كلمات مو احرف
كلمات
جر
مو أحرف
ولا
جر
لانه انتم في عندكم سؤال عن احرف الجر
إيه؟
وفي عندكم سؤال عن الفانكشنال ووردز اللي هن الريلاتيف بروناونز والفريزل
نحن بالجرامر.
هذول بالجرامر كلياتهم. اما نحن هون بالنسبه لنا هون
كلمات من الأحاديث
من
والآيات.
الآية او
الحديث
اللي موجود.
طبعا هدول نحن عندنا اياهم مجموعين، واكيد بمدارسكم صاروا متوزعين عليكم. هن 4 صفحات تماما
بالضبط.
هدول هن.
ننتقل للموضوع مشان نشرح للطالبه اللي طلبت
اتس
كمان.
اوكي. طيب
نرجع للشرع.
هلا اخر شيء عندنا بالرايتنج انه عندكم نوعين من الكتابه. رايت
بس موضوع واحد.
موضوع واحد
رح يجي موضوع واحد.
اما بتكون عندكم ستوري، يكون يعني قصه وانا بدي اكملها من عندي، حنكون نحن حاطين لكم البدايه. مثلا one day I went to Latakia with my family. اوكي، انتم بقيه الاحداث حتكون لحالها متسلسله. طبعا من كتابكم انا عم بعطي مجرد مثال. او يكون عندي موضوع، طبعا حيكون من احد الكتابين، كتاب الطالب او كتاب الانشطه، ونحط لكم عناصر لحتى تساعدكم، او ممكن ما يكون متوفر. بس المهم انه المواضيع تماما من كتبكم، ما في شيء من برات الكتاب. حيكون يعني ستوري او ديسكريبشن او اي موضوع من المواضيع اللي عندكم اياهم.
كم سطر او كم كلمه حيكتبوا؟
هلا بحدود 70 كلمه كمان.
70 كلمه
مو اقل يعني.
وينتبهوا كمان.
وكمان ما كتر ولا يطلع قليل، لانه الاقل يعني زايد مثل الناقص.
مثل ما حكينا للادبي ما تخرج عن نص الموضوع.
المهم ما تخرج
المطلوب منك من الموضوع تكتبه.
حاول انه يعني اذا بلشت بالموضوع لا تخربط الازمنه مع بعضها. بديت ماضي كمل ماضي، عم بحكي مثلا شغله هابيتشوال اكشنز او شيء، بحافظ انه
هي نصائح للادبي والشرعي مع بعض.
كله ما لازم
يعني الموضوع بده يكون كثير موضوع دقيق، يعني بحيث انه انا يعني رابطه الجمل بشكل جيد، واهم شيء يعني متقيد بالنص اللي مطلوب منك.
تمام.
So you have to be stick to the
topic.
Stick to the topic.
Okay.
You have to stick to the topic. Okay. Now let us explain only the
the clauses.
Yes.
In Arabic or in English?
For
Kinan. He asked it. Yes.
In Arabic.
In Arabic or in English?
Okay, in Arabic it doesn't matter. So
let's now go back to the literary section, how to complete this sentence. Okay, would you please just write an example? I'm looking forward.
We wrote 2 examples, I
Okay.
think. Yes, it's okay. I will write another one.
Yalla, why not?
you have, I have.
Here,
you have an
example, yes.
Okay.
I prefer watching.
Okay. It's okay. We don't go
Okay,
on.
Kinan, watch
Watch
the
us now.
explanation.
Okay. Now here we have an example. Yes.
Would you please read it for me?
I prefer watching romance films because.
I am romantic.
Okay. Or I. Yes.
Because I am
romantic.
Yes,
It's
I am
okay.
a romantic woman.
Okay.
Or a romantic person.
Man.
Person.
Okay.
Kinan
Person.
is a man.
Okay, because Kinan. The second one.
Everyone heard the noise, sorry, when.
The thief entered the room.
Okay. Or broke into the house.
Yes.
So I have subject,
Subject,
فاعل
verb, okay.
وفعل
فعل.
إجباري.
Okay. 3 things should be keep in mind, or should they pay attention to. They should keep in mind that we have 2 elements, the subject and the verb, and the rest of the sentence, of course. And they should be meaningful. And the last one, the tense or the grammar. There should be an agreement with the first part of the clause that is written in your exam paper.
Thank you. To remind only Sharia students that, as I mentioned before,
Yes,
that the page, yes, till
you
in
show
the
them?
activity book till page 43.
بس طبعا لهون انتم مطالبين بالشرعي كتب هذا بالاكتيفيتي او كتاب التمارين لصفحه 43. اوكي، صفحه 43 مطالبين فيه بالاكتيفيتي او كتاب التمارين، وبكتاب التكست او للطلاب ستودنتس ل 76 اللي هو 76. هدول فقط اللي مطالبين فيهم من الشرعي. طبعا الأخيرات أكيد محذوفين السنة.
Okay.
تمام.
So don't forget our dear students to study as well as you can, because the examination is near, and we want you to relax and don't be scared at all. Our examples, or our, let us say, exam paper is the same as the previous years. So don't be scared. We didn't change anything in this exam. We have it the same. And as my colleagues also explained to you, it's very easy for you to write and to solve your questions. So please, Ms. Iman, do you have any advice to?
It's okay, yes, only I want to tell them that ease yourself, relax, start your paper from the first number to the last one, smoothly, move from one question to another. Sometimes you forget, it's okay, leave its space, and you can go back to answer it later. But pay attention, do not misnumber your answers. Means now this is number 5, I write it next to number 5 on my paper.
Yes.
This is something important.
We have the answer sheet, but unfortunately
the electricity went off. Okay.
Not the electricity, the laptop is not working
It's okay.
anymore.
It's okay.
So can we give them an example how to write? Please number a paper.
Okay. Yes. Now usually your paper, yes, your answer paper is numbered from 1, 2, 3, 4, and
To
of course now
43,
to
43 in literary
40,
session.
43.
Yes.
Okay, in the literary session. You have to write, pay attention when you read, of course now, because now sometimes you are nervous, our dear students. Okay. You are nervous, so pay attention that you match your answer here, your question here, and you have to write the answer here on number 1. Yes, make sure you write it here, not down, or sometimes we find them, they write it between here, or sometimes the student follow his numbering without writing numbers.
Yes.
And we have to follow him and to find where is his correct
Yes.
answer.
So be careful to be with the number. Number 1, you answer.
Yes, not to misnumber you.
Yes, the number 1 is for the answer number 1.
Number 1. Okay, and of course now we say that we leave space for each question, and it's enough for each question or for each answer you write. When something wrong went, you can go and write at the end of the paper, but never write on the draft. This is something important, and never write using a pencil, because anything, even if it's correct 100%, we don't correct it.
Okay,
so
do you have any
Yes, I advise them to read, as my colleague said, each sentence correctly and calmly.
Carefully.
Now, make sure not to miss any question. Make sure that they must write the proper answer. Of course, they have to keep in mind the remarks we have just mentioned. I wish them all the best, of course. Not to be afraid of English, because English is a world language, so they can use their language properly and fluently. I hope that they will not miss any any question. Make sure that, of course, pay attention to your capitalization and to your spelling, because we have plenty of teachers. They are going to read your answers and they are going to work hard for their sakes. We are hopefully want them to pass this year with high marks and go to the university and be active people for our society and for themselves.
So, and my advice to you, my dear students, that you should practice your English more
As
in
well.
the future, yes, because you know language is very important. English is very important. It's important for your studying in the future. It's
At
important for
university,
every if you want to travel abroad. So English is very important. So as for your exam, I wish you all the best, and we wish you good luck, and we'll meet you in other seminars.
We hope so.
Till now, goodbye.
Goodbye. See you
Goodbye.
in our coming sessions.
Goodbye. Good luck.
Good luck, of course. Thank you, Ms. Lina.
Thank you.
Ms.
Thank you,
Iman.
Ms. Iman. Thank you,
You are
Ms.
welcome.
Mayada.
You are welcome.
Thank you for